Hi there guys, I'm Danny and welcome to this episode of All Monsters Go to Space. I'm going to be talking about the Greek god Pan today. He was a god of all things wild. From shepherds and flocks to mountains, rustic music, fields, springs, groves, wooded glens and fertility. It is also said that he is the reason why humans have hunting and animal husbandry, hence the reason why he normally has a shepherd's crook. Usually depicted as being unattractive, with the hindquarters and horns of a goat like a satyr. He has great strength, is impervious to harm and the ability to transform objects into other forms. He could also run great distances and travel easily between Mount Olympus and Earth. It's also said that he had a shrewd sense of humour and may have also been a god of theatrical criticism. He made the rustic wilds of Arcadia his home and had a thing for nymphs, but we'll come to that bit later. There are a few suggested parents of Pan, and his origin is a little unclear. Some say that he was the son of Hermes or of Dionysus with a wood nymph, and Herodotus, Cicero and Apollodorus all wrote that Hermes and Penelope, but not Odysseus' wife, were his parents. But the thing is, mythology also says that Pan is one of the oldest gods in the pantheon and sometimes predates Hermes. He taught Apollo the art of prophecy and gave Artemis her hunting dogs. And a little side note, we have the word panic from Pan. One story for this is because someone once woke him from a nap, and his rage spooked the shepherd and his flock, causing a stampede. The other version is that if a person is in Pan's domain, he walks around them invisibly, causing a panic. Now, since it was said to be his main home, Arcadia was actually where his worship started. And being a god of the wild, he didn't really have temples and buildings of worship built for him, except at the Neda River Gorge in Peloponnese, and in Apollonopolis Magna in ancient Egypt. Usually it was caves and grottos that were normally used as the temples of Pan. He was such a well-known god that he was used on the coinage at Pantikopaon in the 4th century BCE. Now, another fascinating thing is that it's said there are multiple Pans or Panoskoi. Two were Agrias and Nomios, and they were both sired from Hermes, with the prophetess Sose being the mother of Agrias, who also had the gift of prophecy and hunting, and Nomius' mother was Penelope. He was a great shepherd who was obsessed with nymphs and a talented musician on the pipes, and most stories about Pan are actually about Nomios. Now onto the stories about Pan, starting with one of the most well known. Pan came across the wood nymph Syrinx when she was returning from a hunt. His goatish appearance and his advances frightened her and she ran away. She ran to her sisters, and to protect her they transformed Syrinx into a reed. Pan came across the field of reeds and heard the plaintive sound they made as the wind blew through them. He didn't know which one she was, so he took a handful and fashioned them into the panpipes that carry her name, and of which he is never seen without. Another nymph, Pytes, actually became a pine tree to escape his advances. And then there was the nymph Echo, who spurned the love of all men, but this didn't stop Pan, he tried anyway. She refused him and he told his followers to kill her. They did so and spread her all over the globe. Now, another story of Pan that kind of portrays him as a little gullible is of when he challenged Apollo to a competition. He thought that he was a better musician than the god of music and challenged Apollo, who accepted. The mountain god Tmolus agreed to be the referee. Pan went first and played his pipes to the gathered crowd. His faithful follower Midas was greatly satisfied. Then Apollo played his lyre, and everyone but Midas decided the sun god was the winner. Midas was aghast and demanded that they were all wrong. Apollo was angered by this and turned Midas's ears into those of a donkey, saying they were depraved for not being able to tell his music was superior. Another variation on this tale is that the first round was decided to be a tie, so Apollo ordered that the next round they use their instruments upside down. Now the lyre could still be used in this way, but Pan's pipes could not, and so he lost. And one other story was of the great god Aegipan, who has a full goat form and was raised alongside the baby son of Zeus, Hermes, by Amalthea. When they were older, Zeus battled Typhon but was struggling, so Hermes went to help, and so did Aegipan. He retrieved Zeus's sinews and shrieked so horribly that he caused the Titans to panic. A couple of variations on this tale are that Aegipan is actually the son of Pan, and another is that a while before the battle with Titans happened, Aegipan needed to escape from Typhus. So he and the other Olympians formed into full animals, and he became a fish-tailed goat. He then aided Zeus in the battle by screeching, and his reward was to have a place amongst the stars as the constellation Capricorn. Pan's Roman counterpart is Faunus, and it's said that he fathered or created the satyrs or fauns for the Romans, and according to Plutarch was the only god to have actually died. In 14 to 37 CE, news reached Asclepius, who was told to alert everyone once he'd reached Pallades that the great god Pan was dead. He did so and was met with sorrow and grief, but others say that Pan's death needed to happen so that Jesus could be born to fill the void. And from the 19th century onwards, Pan got a huge resurgence, and he became a big part of neo-paganism due to his connections with nature, and he was also used a lot during the Romantic movement throughout Western Europe. He appeared in poetry, novels, children's books and plays. There are even dancers called Pan's People from the 60s. One influence I think everyone will be able to see is Peter Pan, a wild boy who carried the god's name and the panpipes. The piper at the gates of dawn in the Wind of the Willows was based on the god, being a natural god and protector of animals himself. In 1984, Arthur Machen's novel The Great God Pan was published. In 1927, there was The Blessings of Pan by Lord Dunsany, and in 2015, Mark Beach, through the Aegis Press, published an anthology called Soliloquy for Pan. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please leave a like, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, in the comment section and on Twitter. Bye!